Alrighty, let's talk anamorphic for a second. So the lens that I'm shooting this on right now is the Sirui 50mm t2.9 1.6x anamorphic cine lens, which for anybody who doesn't know a lick of that, don't worry about it. It just means that it's a cool cinema lens. And cinema lenses are different than photo lenses. Most of them are only manual focus. This one is just manual focus, not autofocus. Kind of a funny story how I came about this lens. I knew that I wasn't doing my best creative work, and renting an anamorphic cinema lens, whatever you want to call it, was something that kind of helped me get back into that creative passion and that creative flair back in my system again. I rented the lens for a week, and so the original idea was, okay, I'll schedule, a couple projects, maybe a spec ad or two in this week with this lens, see if I like it enough to potentially buy it, and if I don't like it, no harm, no foul. I didn't spend $1,500, I only spent $100 renting it. I got the lens rented, I got it shipped, paid for, it's on its way here. Lo and behold, I see on somebody's story that they're selling the exact same lens for a third of the cost that it would normally go for brand new. And so I was like, done, bought, done, sold. And so at this point, I no longer needed to rent the lens because I had just bought it. And so I canceled the rental. I had all these shoots lined up for this week, and I still have them lined up. I'm still gonna shoot all of them. I'm super excited to see how this lens performs. But that's the story of how I bought a cinema lens, or an anamorphic lens, whatever, when the original plan was to just rent it for a week. The whole thing of anamorphic is that it takes your regular image and it stretches that out by a certain amount. The amount that's on this lens is 1.6. This lens stretches the frame from a 16:9 to I believe it's a 25:9 frame. Because I come from a world where you shoot the content and then I add the black bars on top and bottom, right? It's cool that this gives you that true movie-like anamorphic look without needing to add black bars on top and bottom. Let's talk about how wide it is too. I like it, but I don't like it. I do like it because I love horizontal way more than vertical. But the thing is, I do a lot of work for social, for me personally, for my full-time job, and also for a lot of clientele. I do a lot of social work. And so having an anamorphic frame just makes it really hard to get social clips, almost unusable shots for social media. That's why I don't like how wide it is. I just don't know if I was quite aware of how wide 1.6 is. So yeah, now I've gotten the shoots wrapped up. I did the MMA promo video. I did the spec ad for the outdoor apparel brand, and I did the shoot at my local gym. So I did those three with this anamorphic lens. I'm honestly I'm really pleased with how everything turned out. I think it pushed me creatively to only have one focal length to work with, and then I've just gotta, figure it out as far as shot selection, shot variety. So before we dive back into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, My Wallet. You heard that right. This sleek, overworked, and underappreciated piece of leather has been the MVP. This bad boy has funded every lens, every microphone, and every late night B&H photo purchase that I swore would improve my filmmaking. My Wallet doesn't just hold cards and cash. It holds the dreams of a filmmaker trying to create epic content $1 at a time. Now, if you want to support My Wallet, it's pretty easy. I'll leave my Venmo on the screen below, or you can just send some loose change my way. So let's all give a moment of silence for My Wallet, whose sacrifice has made this content possible. Overall, I actually don't mind the manual focus. It forces me to nail it myself instead of relying on the camera's autofocus. I actually bought a small rig follow focus kit that I just put on the side of my rig there, and it makes it so smooth and so seamless and so easy to grab focus as I'm going. And then the nice thing about manual focus is that if I miss it by a little bit, it's not super distracting for me to just kind of rack it back in and grab focus. If autofocus misses, it starts hunting. It'll go and it's like, super distracting. It makes the shot unusable. I regularly turn off the autofocus on my autofocus lenses. Sometimes they just miss, sometimes the camera just hunts, and sometimes I just prefer to just twist it.
Oh, twisty!
Sometimes I just prefer to manually rack focus, even on my autofocus lenses. Another thing about manual focus is that the lighting that I had, I was like almost entirely backlighting for one of the scenes in the MMA promo video. Would have made autofocus very hard. Would have been hunting all over the place. I probably would have turned it to manual focus anyways, even if I was using a photo lens. Yeah, manual focus came in clutch there for sure. It's hard to get really tight with this lens because the minimum focus distance is 2 feet, and so that really is different in contrast to this lens, the Sigma 18-35. When I'm shooting with this lens, like I can have it right up to my subject. With the Anamorphic lens that I tried this week, can't get any closer than 2 feet to my subjects, and so that's great for most of the stuff, but it's hard for tight shots. So that's something to keep in mind, and it's totally fine. I get it, I understand. It just shows you that it's a tool for certain situations. It's built for certain things, and it's not built for certain things. The anamorphic flares that come from this, I do like them. I don't know exactly how much I like the fact that they're always blue. I think though that if you're pointing it directly at the sun or a light source, that it can be a little bit extreme, and I don't know if I like that quite so much. I do like that the lens kind of gives more of a sharp edge to lights so that it's not just this big old circle. The flares that are in this thing, they're true anamorphic flares, and I love it. When the light's just a little bit off to the side, I love the flares that come in from it. One thing I would not use these for is event coverage. These are for productions, they're for shoots. You can do a shot over 3 or 4 times until you've got it. It's great for people who are in between small stuff and large productions. It's great for medium run and gun shoots. And by run and gun, I don't mean where you're just running around and capturing a little bit of everything. I think it's more for gunning than running, if that makes sense. You've got your talent, you've got your location, you've got everything figured out, the lighting, and you're just gonna be gunning for a little bit. You're not gonna be doing too much running around and everything. You're in your environment and you're just gonna be gunning for a little bit. That's when this lens is perfect. It is a lens. It's not the lens, it is a lens. It's meant to be used in tandem with other prime anamorphic lenses to really make projects come to life. And yeah, I guess that's the review. If there's anything huge that I just like totally neglected to look at on the lens, yeah, drop a comment, let me know. Subscribe if you like this, and stay tuned for more, because there's definitely more stuff coming. So thanks.